Okay, guess who's here? Stephen Key, I'm back, and I have a special friend that's back. He's going to create some problems for us today. Mark, how you doing?
I'm good, Stephen. How are you? How do you know I'm going to create a problem? How do you know
Because
that?
you just are known for that. You're just known for it, and that's
No,
what I.
no. I solve problems. I don't make problems.
Well, I know that. I know that. But this is going to be a fun topic because we come at this commercializing an invention a little differently. All right? Because, as you know, I'm a licensing guy. I love licensing. I love that business model, but you're kind of on the other side. You like to manufacture products, right?
Sure. I do it. I do it both, but I'm known for taking the product to market through manufacturing.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're come on now. Don't try to play both sides of the field. You're a manufacturing guy, man. I know you are. So I
Okay.
want to talk a little bit about it. I like licensing because I'm not a business guy. I
That
don't want
that's that's the key.
to.
If you're not a business guy, first of all, the most important thing, Stephen, is you got to know yourself. You got to be able to look in the mirror and understand who you are. Okay? And you said it very specifically. I'm not a business guy. So you know what? Licensing's for you. But if you are a business guy, do you know how much more money you can make
Oh, no,
by
wait.
making?
No, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, wait a minute. I hear that argument all the time.
Okay,
Don't license venture. You're going to make more money. All right, let's talk about that for just a minute.
sure.
Because I asked someone in the industry, Michael Weinstein, he was over at All Star Innovations. He said, Steve, here's the bottom line: we spent a lot of money on a product launch. I mean, millions of dollars, and we're lucky at the end of the day to have a 10% profit margin. Oh,
No,
okay, but
that's nonsense. That's
okay,
nonsense talk.
but that's what he said. He goes, and so even if it was 30% at the end of the day, you pay all your bills, you pay your employees, you pay the lights, you do all that kind of stuff, and we're giving you 5% royalty, no risk. Why would I ever want to venture?
No, you would want to venture very simply because if you, let's say you make it for $1 and sell it for two, that's a 50% margin. That's retail margin. So let's talk regular margin, 100%. You put out $1, you get back $1. Okay. If you know what you're doing and you're a half a business person, you can find a guy like me who can make it for you in China, who's been doing it or
Okay,
overseas.
okay.
Let's call it I've been doing it for 35 years. You can buy it for this, you sell it for that. Are there
I,
other
I,
costs?
I,
Of course.
I know, but at the end of the day, you have to look at your overhead. You have to put all that stuff in, and at the end of the day, to keep the lights on, your employees, all the work. So, what is typically the profit margin? I mean, what is it? Is it 30%? I know Costco runs on like 3%. They work on very small margins. So, I guess what he was saying to me was, look, there's a lot of risk when you venture. You know that. No,
Of course, but the greater the risk, the greater the reward.
correct. But how much
If you
greater
want,
is it?
but sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's just a little bit more. But
Okay.
it is capital intensive. But if you find a partner who's got money and experience, why the fuck wouldn't you wanna? Why wouldn't you want to venture?
Okay, but okay, so I want everybody to realize that the thing I like about licensing is speed to market now. I mean, if I license to a company that's got great distribution, it's got the shelf space, right? They got the
Right.
manufacturing, they got the marketing in place. I mean, they're there. So I licensed it to them. I'm in the market fast. Okay, if I'm going to venture, right, it's going to take a little bit longer. I probably don't have all the great distribution. Maybe I have a little bit higher profit margin at the very end of the day. But today, you can't protect anything. So
Yeah,
it's
but
really
it's speed to
sell
market.
fast, sell first, sell fast.
So, but it's first to market. I live on both sides of this. Okay, so I do license product, all total transparency. But at the same time, I've got a guy who decided to venture. Right, so we do it. He makes beautiful money. He did $100,000 last month. We did $100,000 last month on Amazon. No, not on Amazon. He did another 100 on Amazon. He did 100 on Facebook ads, driving it
Okay. All right. All right.
to his
Okay.
website.
All right.
Right.
Now, I'm going to agree with you now that if you're playing the game on Amazon and online, where you don't have to share some of that you know, headaches with selling at retail. You're getting the full hit. Yeah, that's much better. But you know too, to get the big numbers, you're going to have to be in some of those big stores like a Walmart or Kmart or Target. You need the big stores to really push that out too.
Not necessarily, because with this specific item, let me tell you something.
Okay.
You met a new kind of guy today, Stephen. I mean, I don't agree with everything because I've had so much experience.
Okay.
And I've done this. So you know, you go to you know, you build your online presence, and we've built it so big that yes, our secondary, and I say secondary plan is to take it to retail.
Okay.
But because of COVID, and I'm not an excuse guy, everybody's home. So where are you going to send the sample?
I know.
Where are you going to do that? So what we've done is we've elected to do, so we're doing a couple $100,000 a month just on e-commerce.
That's pretty good.
At 50% margin.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with that.
What do you want to license?
I'm not going to argue with that. What I like about what you're saying is, given the environment, given that it's easier to be on Amazon or some of the online sellers, it's faster. You don't have to have so much inventory. You can move quicker. I like that model. But
it's a great model.
But all right. But let's talk about, how do you create demand? That takes money. How do you get people to find you? It's so crowded on Amazon now. How do you find anybody anymore? How do you do that?
Okay. So money. Let's talk about money. So if I told you, Stephen, I'm going to take your item, your widget, and I'm going to put it on Facebook ads, and for every $1 you put out, I'm going to give you a $5 bill. If you don't say to me, how do I find as much money as humanly possible, then I'm not going to respect you in the morning. Because the fact of the matter is, if I give you a $5 bill for every $1 you put out, what the fuck are we talking about?
I'm going to love that return. I'm going to love that return.
Exactly.
I'm going to love it. Okay.
So I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do to get the money. Even if you came to me and said, hey, Mark, for every $1 you give me, I'll give you back $2.50. Split it with me, whatever. But the bottom line is there's always ways to find capital.
I agree. The Facebook, the online, it's changed the game. It has changed the game. Okay.
Totally.
Okay. But how much money are we talking about getting started now?
It depends on your appetite. Are you going to come get a guy like me, or are you going to go try to break open your piggy bank and do it yourself?
No, I don't want to piggy. Well, okay, let's talk about doing it yourself for a minute. Or I don't care. It doesn't matter if I bring you along or if I do it myself or whatever. I still need to have some capital here. How much do I really need? See, I think people are mistaken here. Now, maybe you go slow. Maybe you don't need as much anymore. Maybe I can just have 1,000 products in my garage or Amazon fulfillment, and maybe that's all I really need today. So is it a lot of money today versus online? Because I know there's a lot of money if you're in a Walmart. That's a whole different ballgame. You need to float money. That's expensive. So tell me how it's changed with Amazon online sellers.
Forget about the brick and mortar for a minute, because you need to float a full order. Even a test order is going to be tens of thousands of dollars, and you got to upfront it. And with the way they're coming down on you with the terms, net 90, 2%, 60, you have to hold on to that money for a long time. You can have your money tied up. Okay, so take that. Let's put that on the shelf for a second.
Okay.
But with a Facebook, first of all, my biggest recommendation is, and I'm not pitching my team because I could give a shit, but I have a team that does this thing. And what I would do is I would take $1,000 and I would test. I would do a test for $1,000. Do $1,000 a month for 2 months and see what happens. If you start to get traction, and then $1 brings you back $1.50, and then $1 brings you back $2.50, and so on and so forth until you get to a point where $1 is bringing you back.
But you're just talking about ads, though. You're not talking about building inventory, building it, prototyping, manufacturing. You're not talking about any of that. You're just talking just an ad, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
You're supposed to already have the merch. If you don't have the merch, then you got to partner with somebody or do what you need to do. But we started this premise, Stephen. Remember, let me use your words. We started this premise in saying, I'm a businessman. You said, if you want to just invent and sit in your basement, licensing's fantastic. And I agree with you. But if you're a business person, or you understand, the guy who I'm describing that's doing 100,000 on Amazon and he's only been in business for 4 months on this item, by the way. He runs his own business in a different category. So he's a perfect candidate for getting behind and doing this.
So Okay, so he's in business. He understands it. He's got the investment. He's got some money behind it. But what about if I'm just an inventor here and I've got a lot of ideas? Do I do licensing or do I do venturing?
No, I mean, if you're a professional inventor, like so many of your InventRight people are, then my recommendation is licensing, because you can license 3, 4, 5 items at the same time. But if you're trying to venture 3, 4, 5 items, especially if they're unassociated, you're out of your bird.
Okay.
You're out of your bird.
Okay.
So what you're doing is the proper thing for the people who have 5 or 6 inventions and are professional inventors. And when I say professional inventors, I mean people who invent on a consistent basis.
Okay. Good stuff.
I think it's great.
All right. Hey, everybody, subscribe down below. We're going to keep Mark going. I've got a lot of questions for him. He knows what he's doing here, everybody. So that's why he's on the channel, InventRight TV. Subscribe down below. I'll see you in a few minutes, Mark. Thank you very much.